Before we wander on into the episode, I just want to make sure that everyone goes out there and hits up the YouTube, check out the Spotify, check out Apple, wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast, is to go down, like it, subscribe, hit the bell if it's YouTube. Make sure you're getting those reminders. We do put these out every week. So make sure you do all that. It helps us out. And in the long run, we can make better things. So again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility? Clink. What's up, everybody? Solo today, everybody. No Ranger Zach. So that clink was to all of you out there listening, watching, wherever you may be. But no, that is for you because I am alone, busy schedules, busy times for the two of us. So we just gonna get a schedule to work out this week. It's no big sweat. Things will move on. I'm pretty sure there's a weekend down the road I can't make, or a week on the road I can't make to record either. So maybe you'll get a little Zach Matt action, or Zach and guess, or just Zach. Who knows? Only time will tell. But anyways, we are here. Yes, post Thanksgiving. The bellies are full. We had an open weekend, so hopefully y'all got out there and did something outside, getting things moving there. But no, this week on it, I figured, because it is post Thanksgiving, that I do a little bit of something with the fitness going on, more or less just Q&As, people questions I get from you, or some from the people over at theUnathletictrainer.com, which if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. TheUnathletictrainer.com. There's some other stuff over there that comes from me and only me. There's a little Wandering Ways giddy up over there as well. But no, I'm answering questions from you guys about fitness and tailored more towards the nature-esque side of things, because it is post Thanksgiving break, or Thanksgiving, so the bellies are full. Some of us may be feeling fat, and we want to get out there and maybe shed a few, not get the holiday 15 that we get every year, huh? But no, just gonna roll right into it, starting off with the first question. I love it. Comes from Taylor out of Washington. Reason I love this is because this is me every day. No, she says, or he says, I get lost all the time, and I want to know your strategies of either not getting lost, which I get lost, or finding your way back after getting lost. Like I said, love this question, mainly because I get lost all the time. I have talked on this podcast numerous times about how I get lost. I think I'm 50-50 on this, on if I get lost or not, whether it's a hike, bike, run, anything out on trails. If I don't know, if I have not been on the path before, there's a super, super solid chance that I don't find my way. So, because of this, I have come up with a system. It's not really a system, it's a rule. It is a rule that if let's start off with try and plan your run or bike or whatnot to where you know all the different landmarks that you have to turn at, or take directions out with you to hopefully get going that way. So that way, if you do get lost, you can pull it out real quick. You can go, all right, there's the tree with the nose, take a left, that kind of stuff. Preparing for it is the best way to do it. It really is, as silly as that sounds, is being prepared. So that way, taking it out can be a struggle, especially if you're on a bike or if you're on a run. If you have a smartphone, you use it for music, or you just take it on your runs for whatnot. Say you use like some sort of tracking app, like I use Strava, which you can follow me on Strava. That'd be awesome. But they'll have maps for you if with different routes to kind of help you through it. So that can be a good way to not get lost. But let's say you do all that, right? So get that confusing corner. You don't know left, right, up, down, what way to go, what it says from the directions, or you just don't have the directions and you're in a newer spot. You just pulled off and you're like, I'm going to go on these trails. This is where my rule comes in, the rule I was talking about earlier. And it's always go right. Because if you always go right, you never have to guess when you get to an intersection because you just go the opposite of what you came, right? So if you end up getting lost and you turn around as you're going, when you get to that fork again, you're not going, well, which way did I go this time? No, you always went right. So you got to go left this time. Works fantastic for me. Have not gotten lost yet. Hoping to keep that trend going because don't really want to get lost. That would be very unfortunate. Typically when I'm going on these a little bit longer or ones I get lost on, they're on the longer end. So I will also bring extra nutrition with me. Long runs, long rides, that long cardio, long hikes. I always bring a little extra nutrition just in case I do get lost, whether it's a protein bar, uh, excuse me, whether it's a protein bar, whether it is more gels, like if I'm running or biking, maybe it's more, well, it's for sure almost always more water. It gets a little dicey when we're running. I don't pack water very well. Yeah, that choose pretty much anything really. I'll just carry a little bit extra. That will last me not too terribly long. So just because I don't want to carry that much weight on me, but it will buy me nutrition wise, 3-4 hours easy before I really, really start to go. Unless I'm like working out the whole time, then it'll only buy me like maybe 2 more hours nutrition wise. And then that hopefully is enough time for me to find my way back to where I came from on those. But yeah, that's what I do to hopefully not get lost, but most likely I do get lost. So what I do when I get lost, the systems I've created, because I get lost a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Don't ever have me to be navigator. People still do, and then they're like, "We've been going for so much longer than we thought," and I was like, "Well, we may have taken a wrong turn, or I read the map wrong." Uh, so you always end up doing a little extra with me. But no, fabulous question, Taylor. I love it. Really hits home for me for sure. Um, but anyways, thank you. If you're looking to have your question answered, not just Taylor's, we'll go through others today too. But if you're looking to have your question answered, have no fear. You can email them in at wanderingwayspodcast@gmail.com. That is WANDERINGWANDERS. I totally did that one wrong. I started redoing it. No, it's Wandering Ways Podcast at gmail.com. WANDERINGWAYSPODCAST at gmail.com. You can tell I definitely do not do that very often. Um, but no, go email them there. Go on the Instagram, Wandering Ways Podcast. Leave comments on the YouTubes, Wandering Ways Podcast. Ask them directly. Reverend Marcus on Instagram, Reverend Marcus on Twitter, theunathletictrainer.com. Or if you have other questions that aren't just this topic, email them or send them over to Zach at Ranger Zach, at Rougarou, that kind of stuff. He'll answer them. He's always on it doing the, especially if you hit the question out to the Rougarou, he'll probably answer you. But going on to question numero 2 comes in from Jamie from Ohio. I always forget that we have a fairly decent Ohio listening or following. But question is, how do you plan these runs slash bikes into trips? I'm assuming this is a fairly new question. Actually, no, probably not. But prime example of how I do this actually is 2 weekends ago from when this came out. I was in good old Humboldt. And I went down for the weekend with the main goal of getting some runs and getting a bike ride in. Bike ride being the big ticket item, right? So first foremost is, how long am I going to go? That's when I'm starting to do this. I go, how long is this trip going to be? And so we'll go to the Humboldt one, right? I was like, I can make 3 days out of it, maybe 4 if time, but let's plan for 3. Right? Get there on Friday, Saturday all day, leave on a Sunday. Pretty classic weekend trip. So what I mainly wanted to do was get a bike ride in. So who doesn't want to do a bike ride in good old Avenue of the Giants? So I said, that is the thing I'm doing. And I laid out Saturday morning into early afternoon for that. If I wanted to do other things or see people, I knew it was going to be either Friday evening, Sunday morning, or Saturday evening. From there, you always figure in travel, right? Now, are you flying somewhere? You're probably staying more than a weekend, so you probably logistically it's a little different. Or are you driving somewhere? Or are you taking the bus or whatnot? So then that question comes in. I start asking myself, anyways, can I get a run, more likely a run in at a good halfway point of the drive or somewhere in the drive, if it can't be like a true halfway point. And then that's when I start looking at where I'll be driving, and I'll go, oh, I can stop here and get like a real quick shakeout in. And that's just to kind of get the body moving. It's not really crazy, super casual pedestrian like pace. I don't want to do anything for more than like 30 minutes. So it's usually pretty quick on those. And it breaks up the drive kind of nice. You get out, do a little run, then you're on your way. Sometimes I'll go for a longer run depending on my plans for that day. If it's just a long day of travel, then I'll probably end up just doing a longer run. If I'm going to see some people out later, I will probably end up doing a shorter one, just so that way I'm not dead tired when I get in and I can see people, or go do maybe a small hike or something, if it's one of those kind of trips. Right. So going back to the Humboldt one, Crescent City, that area, it's little over halfway, but it's a decent little spot to stop. You can run in the redwoods too, so that's why I kind of did that. And so I'll either do that there and back, or both directions, depending on just kind of exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes only one. So that's how, like, on a 3 day, how I'll plan it, right? Big ticket items, what I'm doing. Hopefully you're gonna meet up people for that big ticket item. Sometimes it's a long hike is the fitness, right? There's nothing wrong calling like a good 12-mile hike the fitness. That's fabulous fitness. Maybe it is the long bike ride, or maybe it is a run with some friends and stuff like that. So make the big ticket item like an event or show, and then fill in the stuff in between, whether it's hanging out at a fire, just chit chatting it up, or maybe it's going and talking to some old friends, or maybe you're going to watch the sunset, maybe sunrise, whatever it is, right? You can fit in the small stuff around that big ticket item. And then, I mean, that's really kind of how, you know, comes sometimes I'll pick a place and I'll be like, well, what cool thing can I see in this place? And then can I run to it or can I bike to it? I'll do that every now and then, occasionally. Just it's a different way. It'd be like, oh, I've never been. What can I do there? Type deal. Far less often, but it is another way I do plan these trips out there. Last So thank you, Jamie. Right, moving right along into the questions. This one's not really a question. It didn't really come from anyone, but it is going in to, I guess, the bulk or the meat of what I wanted to talk about, when it comes to like fitness questions I get, I guess, is um having the adventure van. And I'm not talking about the van life adventure van, because those are a lot of different ways that you can go. I'm talking about the person, or maybe it's a truck actually, but it's more fitness oriented, or I guess how I use them, I guess overall it's just a continuation of Jamie's question. But anyways, we're going to talk about my van, how I use it for adventure purposes, because it's not a big van. So I don't use it probably the same way a lot of other people do. But nevertheless, it gets the job done and does a fantastic job. My trip down to good old Humboldt was prime example of that. But anyways, it's a small Ford Transit van. So slide doors, both sides, got the butterfly window or winged ones. Well, not like the butterfly, sorry, but open outward for the back. I have a bike rack, holds 2 bikes, and then a bar across up top. That's it in the back of my van. So it's a lot of open space. Bikes take up a lot of it. I do have plans of taking it, because it sits right in the middle right now, because it's got a nice, easy fit. But taking that, moving it to one side to just open up more space on a side, maybe putting in some shelves of some sort when I do that. But so bike rack, the bar, and from there it comes down to how do I manage. So this last trip, I had both my bikes, because I wasn't sure if I was going to throw in a special mountain bike ride in. Did not, no biggie. So I had both bikes, and then brought all my stuff for running. I bring typically both whenever I will bring my running stuff pretty much anywhere I go, because it's easy, just go, right, let's go for a run. So I had my running bag in there, and it's shoes, typically the hat, probably clothes. I'll run in, so a set of running clothes, which is different from the bike kits. Those are just for wearing on the bike. Brought those two, hung them from the bar, worked great. I'll have a bike, like a bike bag, in there too, that has, spare tires, pumps, oil, shoes, water bottles, electrolytes, anything I could possibly use on the bike. I also carry a little bag on the bike that has like a tire repair stuff, which came in handy because blew flat tire in the middle of the ride, so I had to repair that. Um, and then uh, other trips, not this one, but there are other trips. I'll bring a wetsuit in. The overall goal is though try and get a surfboard in there too somewhere, so that way I can pop on over to good old Crescent City, and do all of that fun stuff like surfing along with a good old bike ride. Um, so I'll carry wetsuit. Hopefully, I'll be able to put in a surfboard. I will bring in some repair. I'll have some other bigger kind of repair equipment in there, in case I have to make something bigger, like more tire tubes, bigger air pump, that kind of stuff. Again, it's not a whole lot. It's a mobile command center or setup, not really the command center itself. But then that brings me to the camping gear that I bring, right? So all of my personal items, and then if I'm camping, it'll be a hammock tent, big camp pack, right? All the stuff if I need to make food. Then have cooler in there. I don't have a real great cooler in there right now. But I have a lot of body armor. And then also, protein bars, because I love stashing protein bars kind of everywhere and anywhere that I can fit my hands on. So ultimately, that is how I use the van. Um, you know, plans on putting in a surfboard in it. That'd be really, really cool. So, or being able to have like a surfboard rack so I can put a surfboard in there, or just some way I can get a surfboard because I want to start surfing more. It's another great way to get out into nature or the ocean while being physically fit. So sorry again. Woo. But we'll hopefully get out there into the ocean, get fit, all that fun stuff by putting in a fan. Got the camping gear back there, said all of that. Yeah. Plan is to use this van as I can just go set up, do a workout of all three methods of the swim, bike, run that I love to do. And then either stay there for a week, making that like the hub, or moving right along. Um, so love, hopefully we'll improve upon it, hopefully move that bike rack over. And from there, do even more cool stuff. So I was kind of thinking of getting into sport fishing again, but I feel like I need a good quality net.
Well, you know what, Reverend? I got the key solution for you. Our friends at Blue Ribbon Net make this eco-friendly aquafade bag, so you're not hurting the environment. It's 100% biodegradable. Plus, the wood is locally sourced and it is also biodegradable, and it's just such a great company to use. The Blue Ribbon Nets, they're here in Bozeman, Montana, and we even have a discount code. That's right. If you use the code Rougarou10, that's right. That's my Jeep, the Rougarou. Rougarou10, Rugaru10. You're going to get some discount on a Blue Ribbon net. You can get the long one if you're fishing the big fish, or you can get just the good river one, if you're like me and just want to catch a lot of fish.
So again, make sure you go check out Blue Ribbon and use the promo code Ruger.
Hey there, Reverend. I heard that you might be running dry on your sticker supplier.
Yeah, I've been looking around and I've kind of like run out of cool stickers to buy and put on water bottles and stuff.
Well, I mean, have you seen the stuff Josh has been coming out with lately?
No, I have not.
Well, he is doing some really cool stuff with the Shop LS574. Yes, they're working with indigenous communities and making some really cool stickers. He has a really cool Buffalo Mountain sticker. There's even water bottles, hats, sweatshirts, the whole swag. And we even got a discount code for you guys. Yes, if you use Wandering Ways at Shop LS574, you're going to be getting a discount on your next purchase. But not only that, you're going to be giving a percentage of that sale to the Little Shell Tribe, as well as they donate $1 of every sale to murdered and missing Indigenous women. So just such a cool thing going on there. You know, you use the code Wandering Ways, WANDERING and you put that in there, boom, you're getting a discount.
And speaking of cool shit in nature, um, I'm gonna do a cool shit in nature this time. I know last solo-sode I did not, but this time I'm gonna because I want to, because it's my favorite segment. So why not share some love here? But no, this week's cool shit in nature is commentated solely by me. So I've tried to pick something I could easily talk about. But no, so this, for the people that are just listening out there, this is I believe, a mantis shrimp guarding its nest because there's an octopus coming in, and it just whomps a good solid hit on that octopus. Um, and I mean, like, it gets it good. So octopus is just coming towards the nest, and he's there. He's like, hold up. And then he just strikes. And he strikes quick and just hits it right on the head. And then he's back. Back in his nest. And the octopus is like, no, I'm out of here. So he gets worked. This octopus gets worked pretty hard by this guy. But anyways, love me some good nature in action. So that's the cool shit in nature segment for today. So we're gonna move back into questions. And so we're actually going to I've had these on the bank. I looked through them before, did the cool shit in nature segment, back through old questions to come up. In the very first solo-sode I did, so I think like episode 74, I did my first solo-sode, which is just about how to do more health habits, fitness habits out in nature. I think it was more health habits, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. So there, I found some questions from those days. And one of the ones I got has to do, and I apologize, this came from the Instagram, so I'm not going to shout out the follower or the hashtag handle, because anonymity, all that stuff. Although they might like the plug, I don't know. Right, you want the plug next time. But it was on cold baths or ice or cold water immersion, as other people will call it. And it was, I hear that it's actually good for you, correct? But every time I jump into a cold lake or the ocean or cold river, I can only make it 1 minute before I have to get out. Is this okay still? Long story short there, yes, it is. It's okay. I encourage taking the cold shower to work up the tolerance, because that's all it really is. You're still getting a good shock. Maybe you don't get some Wim Hof benefits, uh, or longer, what cold water can do long term, in longer durations, not long term, but longer durations can do for you. You might not get that, but at the end of the day, it's just the shock that can do a lot. And the more that you kind of do it, is what's most important, is doing it just a lot more. So be in there a minute, you're still outside in the water, in the cold water, try and warm up a little bit, then maybe hop back in, just because you'll enjoy being in the lake more like that. Or you can be just a quick dip in and dip out. That's a lot of people in the bucket list items. They're like, I jumped in this body of water and I got right back out. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I encourage people, just because cold water is kind of good for you in small durations, do it. But maybe start with a cold shower. And if you have ice access, get an ice bath, if you have the access to it. But start a cold shower, last 5 minutes of your shower, or maybe it's the first 5 minutes of your shower. Just getting some real cold water, pop back, all of a sudden you're hopping in the lake with your friends or the ocean, and you're out there longer because the rest of them are freezing, and you're like, look at me, I'm real cool, which you are. So but yes, so that's the question on cold baths. Another one come back from previous episodes is, you mentioned that you just got to start small, getting active with these, with incorporating fitness and health. I'm currently a hiker, but I would like to add more stuff to it other than just hiking. Maybe it's something added to hiking. Maybe it's something entirely different from hiking. Fabulous question. Because I feel like a lot of us, after we do one activity for a while and then over and over and over, you get a little bored, right? So, or you get bored of the activity, and so you want to spice it up or change it up. That's totally normal. I encourage you to try and get through the lull, so that way you can enjoy just going out more. But tons of stuff to add to it. I mean, there's tons of stuff you can add just to hiking alone. You can get into birding, just go look at birds, photography, start identifying plants, start identifying different rocks, start identifying anything. Another, get into foraging, get into mushrooming. Mushrooming's super cool. It'll take you to a lot of different places. Foraging, know what's edible. It's a great life skill right there. So go out there and it'll add, you're learning something depending on what you're doing. Maybe you're picking up a new skill and incorporating it into your hikes, right? Or, from there, it's a lot. If you're learning photography, there you go. Start an Instagram account, start a blog, that fun stuff. That's what you can do to add to hiking, right? Now, what could you add instead of hiking? Well, you can obviously upgrade, right? Run. You can go on trail runs. That's essentially just fast-paced hiking. If you really kind of think about it, you can get into other outdoor activities. It's all the stuff, right, that you can do that you probably aren't. Go if you want minimal equipment kind of stuff. Get into bouldering as long as you do it safe. Climb a tree as long as you can do it safe. Anything out there, as long as you can do it safe, you're kind of nailing it, But yeah, so thanks for the question on how to improve. Love that you started small. Love that you're getting out there. Let's keep that going. Another question has to do with this. I talked a lot about the eyes in that first solo-sode type deal. So I talked a lot then. I think I talked about looking off in the distance, um, to help kind of as something to do, and that's also good for you. That's what I'm imagining. It's been a while. I haven't listened to it. But I mean the ice. So here's the question on it, Mark. You mentioned that the scene of light, the scene and looking off the distance is it's good for you. And but I'm still not quite getting the reasoning for why um it's good and not just something that we do for kicks and giggles. Um Ultimately it comes down to a couple of different things. I'll talk about looking in the distance before I talk about like sunsets and sunrises. But I'm going to talk about like distances first, because the distance has to do with the relaxing of the lens. Um, and it's good for your eyesight. So that way you're not straining. So when you're looking off the distance and you get into that panoramic view, so you start to take in everything around you and you're not just focused in on one specific spot. So you're getting all your panoramic right with your eyes. That's a relaxing of the lens. And when we relax, it's like muscles or anything that could be tensed up. As we relax, it's kind of like a feeling, right? So your eyes, kind of a feeling in the eyes, which then directly goes to the brain, because the eyes are just an external part of the brain. And then your brain and your body, you go, nice. You really kind of start to relax and take any kind of stress, along with, if you're straining your eyes a whole lot, they'll get overtired and your vision will start to deteriorate. And the longer you do that, the more your vision gets bad, and then you can never go back and you got to wear glasses. Not saying that that's why I wear glasses. I think I just got a short end of the stick. Maybe I was looking at too much screens. Je ne sais pas. But that's for the reasoning that looking at the distance, looking at distances, right? So the the ocean, the mountain ranges, the open field, all of that. Now, why is it so sweet to tag this up with a sunset or a sunrise? That's actually kind of I've learned a lot more about it. Uh, being Our bodies work in these different cycles, right? You may have heard this, the circadian rhythm, or it's a circadian cycle that we go through. And we have more than just that one. I'm going to apologize and blank on some of the names of the other cycles, but essentially, they really kind of help regulate your hormones, energy levels, body temperature, kind of honestly a vast variety of different things work in these cycles throughout the day, throughout the 24-hour cycle. And so to get those cycles in a good kind of rhythm, to where it's not uneven day to day, or you're not out of whack, to where one day maybe you're going through them quicker, or the other slower, but you're in the same rhythm. Kind of happens at similar times in the day, to let your body adjust and get the rest and recover that needs, along with being active and focused when it needs to be, or when you need it to be. So getting in, seeing this natural light, a sunrise, right? In the natural light in the morning really kind of jumpstarts this system that we have, getting the hormones regulated throughout the day. Your cortisol doesn't spike too early or spike too late. You're getting melatonin produced when you need to, natural melatonin. Um, it really gets the day going and gets it started on track. Now, going to sunset. Why does that? Right, light at the end of the day. Seeing that sunset really kind of starts your body going into like, all right, we will be getting and sitting down to sleep soon. So we need to start winding down, getting the body ready for this long-ish rest. Long if you're a bear and you hibernate, but for the time for the body to recover, that kind of stuff. Or depending on if you're a night owl and all that stuff, keeps those other hormones, energy levels in cycles, so that way you can perform at the best that you can. So that's why getting that sunrise in is so vital. It's not just something that it looks really pretty and is cool. You got to think there's a reason. When we think there's something's pretty and cool, you got to think there's a reason. Sometimes it could be bad, but not in this case. This case, it's pretty sweet. It's a special, unique thing that our body does. Anyways, thank you for the question. Short on time this week. I know it's a short one this week, but you guys don't want to listen to me blabber on and go for too much longer. So we're just gonna go into the good old final words. So final words to me. Reverend's final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you are checking out the Instagram. Make sure you're checking out the YouTube. Lots of awesome stuff going out on the YouTube. So make sure you are checking that one out. Go back, check out past episodes. We've had some real good ones out recently. I think the last two were pretty spot on. Even willing to bet the great ones have been going back even farther. But really make sure you go check out the last couple. We did a great interview with American Prairie. That I think really honestly just needs more listens because they're doing some cool stuff up there. But yeah, check us all out. Stay beautiful, get outside, live your best life. I have a lot more free time, so make sure you check out my socials for more runs and bikes. I'm getting some blood work done, which will be excitingly scary, but that's not important for you. That's more important for the unathletic trainer. But I guess that being said, peace out, everybody.